Welcome to the YouTube channel Captivating Home, your cozy corner for heartfelt home inspiration. Today, we're diving deep into the magical world of decorating a tiny cottage in the Maine woods using an eclectic and budget-friendly thrifted boho style. This is more than just a makeover, it's about storytelling through secondhand treasures, earthy tones, and personal charm. Whether you're downsizing or just dreaming, you're in for a soulful escape. Before we step inside this dreamy woodland haven, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss our cozy content. We'll guide you through every nook of this whimsical space, showing how thrifting and bohemian vibes can transform the tiniest homes into warm, lived-in sanctuaries. Ready to be inspired by a cottage lifestyle that embraces nature and nostalgia? Let's get started. One, embracing the cottage's natural soul. The first step in decorating a tiny cottage in the Maine woods is embracing its natural soul, the bones, textures, and vibes that already exist. Instead of covering up wood-paneled walls or aged beams, Thrifted Boho style celebrates imperfections and raw beauty, making them part of the design story. Woven rugs, linen throws, and vintage finds complement the rustic backdrop, turning old into intentional charm. In such a limited space, every design choice must respect and enhance the environment outside. Windows become frames for nature's artwork, and thrifted lace curtains add both softness and privacy. Items like rattan furniture or old pottery picked from local flea markets reflect the surroundings while grounding the space in comfort. This approach helps the cottage feel larger and deeply connected to the woods beyond. 2. Thrifted finds as statement pieces. Decorating a small cottage doesn't mean skipping out on bold style. In fact, thrifted statement pieces are often the soul of a boho-themed tiny home. Think antique trunks as coffee tables, mismatched vintage chairs, or hand-carved mirrors, all collected on a budget. These treasures spark conversation and add character, making your home feel one of a kind and lovingly curated. Each second-hand item in this Maine woods cottage tells a story, like the chipped enamel kettle that once boiled tea in someone else's kitchen, or a macrame wall hanging found at a roadside barn sale. These meaningful objects add texture and warmth without the high price tag. The thrill of the hunt is part of the design process, making your home not only beautiful but also deeply personal. 3. Layering textures and patterns in small spaces. Boho design thrives on layered textures and patterns, and this can be a game changer for tiny cottages. Start with a base of earthy neutrals, creams, sands, soft browns, and build with thrifted elements like embroidered pillows, Moroccan-style rugs, or crochet throws. Each layer adds depth and visual warmth, making your cottage feel snug without being cramped. The key in a small space is balance. Pair busy textiles with simple furniture or raw materials like worn wood and aged metal. A paisley curtain might be matched with a plain canvas sofa, while a velvet armchair could sit on a jute rug. Mixing materials is essential to boho charm and helps small rooms avoid feeling flat. The result is a lived-in elegance that embraces cozy chaos. Four. Making the most of vertical space. One of the biggest challenges of decorating a tiny cottage is the lack of floor space, which makes vertical space your best friend. Thrifted wall shelves, old crates, and hanging planters add function and charm without cluttering the floor. Think of walls as your creative canvas where every inch can serve a purpose or tell a story. Hanging artwork, antique signs, and lightweight woven baskets not only brings personality into the space but also draws the eye upward, giving the illusion of height. A vertical display of old postcards, for example, can become a cottage's gallery wall. These small space solutions keep the cottage organized while maintaining a beautiful boho flow. Five. Cozy nooks and boho corners. Every tiny cottage needs a cozy nook, a corner to read, sip tea, or simply watch the snow fall through pine trees. Thrifted items like a tufted footstool, a vintage reading lamp, or an old rocking chair turn forgotten spaces into soul-soothing sanctuaries. The bohemian spirit comes alive in the freedom to mix eras, colors, and comforts. Decorating these corners with small rugs, layered throws, and stacks of secondhand books creates a layered, lived-in feeling that's irresistibly warm. Even a cottage just a few hundred square feet can have multiple zones when furniture and accessories are chosen with care. These personal spots remind us that in tiny homes, comfort doesn't come from size but from style and story. Six. Earthy color palettes and light play. Color choice is everything in a tiny cottage, and earthy palettes are the perfect match for Maine's woodland beauty. Shades of sage, rust, ochre, and clay reflect the outdoors, bringing harmony and calm into the space. When used on thrifted linens, vintage dishes, or painted furniture, these tones help the cottage feel both intentional and organic. Natural light is a precious resource in small homes, and using mirrors, gauzy curtains, and pale wood finishes can make a tiny cottage glow. A thrifted mirror placed across from a window reflects the forest outside, doubling the sense of openness. These simple design choices magnify light and warmth, making every corner feel like a peaceful retreat. 7. Personal touches that tell your story. The final layer in decorating your tiny Maine cottage is adding personal, meaningful touches, especially when they're thrifted or handmade. A quilt sewn by a grandparent, a stack of postcards from old travels, or dried flowers from your morning walks can infuse the home with soul. In tiny spaces, even the smallest item makes an impact. Boho style invites us to let go of perfection and embrace individuality. This could mean framing a child's painting in a weathered thrift store frame or turning vintage scarves into curtain tiebacks. It's not about matching, it's about telling your story through your space. And when that space is a little cottage in the Maine woods, every item becomes a piece of your woodland fairy tale. 8. The heart of the cottage, a thrifted kitchen with soul. The kitchen in a tiny cottage is often the heart of the home, and decorating it with thrifted charm creates a soulful, welcoming space. Open shelving made from reclaimed wood displays mismatched plates, vintage glassware, and hand-thrown pottery, all discovered at local Maine thrift stores and antique barns. These details add layers of personality and make the kitchen feel lived in, not staged. Instead of modern stainless steel, opt for antique utensils, worn enamel bowls, and copper pots hanging from wall hooks. These functional heirlooms bring a rustic, nostalgic feel that suits a cottage nestled in the woods. A boho twist comes through in playful colors or an old Kilim rug underfoot, proving that style and sustainability can stir together beautifully. Nine. Lighting the cottage with warm, thrifted glow. Good lighting is essential in small spaces, and in a tiny cottage, thrifted lighting solutions bring both function and boho beauty. Think beaded chandeliers, vintage lanterns, or Art Deco lamps found at estate sales, each one casting a golden, ambient glow that feels right at home against rustic walls and forest surroundings. Candle sconces, fairy lights, and secondhand pendant lamps transform corners into inviting pockets of light that reflect the warm, layered charm of boho decor. Combining different light sources avoids harshness and helps zone the space, turning one-room cottages into cozy multi-use areas that feel intentional and serene. "10. Bringing nature indoors with botanical accents. One of the easiest ways to elevate a cottage with thrifted boho flair is to bring nature inside. Potted plants, wildflowers in old jars, and dried herbs hanging from reclaimed hooks blur the line between forest and home. Thrifted ceramic planters, rattan baskets, and upcycled tins can serve as vessels, adding visual texture and organic charm. In a Maine woods cottage, the seasons are so vivid, why not reflect them indoors? Pine branches in winter, sunflowers in late summer, or mossy clippings in spring all work as natural decor. This kind of seasonal styling, using thrifted vases and containers, keeps the cottage dynamic and rooted in its magical woodland setting. (11) Creative storage solutions with a boho twist. Tiny cottages demand smart storage, but that doesn't mean sacrificing style. Vintage trunks, repurposed ladders, and hanging baskets found at thrift stores serve double duty as storage and decor. Whether storing blankets, shoes, or pantry items, these solutions blend effortlessly into a boho theme while saving precious space. A tall, narrow cabinet with a distressed paint finish becomes both a pantry and a style statement. Even under bed or under sofa bins can be hidden with macrame skirts or patterned fabric. Function meets flair when each storage choice adds to the visual story of your cottage. Practical, yes, but always poetic. (12) A boho bedroom retreat in the trees. In a tiny cottage, the bedroom is more than a place to sleep, it's a personal retreat. A boho style makes it dreamy and relaxing, with layers of soft bedding, thrifted quilts, and mismatched pillows piled high. A vintage iron bed frame or a handmade wooden platform adds grounded, earthy structure to the whimsical softness. Don't forget the walls. Hang an old tapestry, a cluster of mirrors, or pressed flowers in thrifted frames. Fairy lights or Edison bulbs offer mood lighting, while a thrifted nightstand stacked with old books creates charm and comfort. The goal is peace, not perfection, a cozy cocoon tucked deep in the forest. 13. Entryways that welcome with vintage warmth. The entryway may be small, but it sets the tone for your entire cottage. Use a thrifted bench or antique coat rack to make it functional and inviting. Add a faded rug and a woven basket for shoes, and suddenly you've created a tiny, magical portal from forest to home. Even a few square feet of space can showcase boho style. Try hanging an old mirror to bounce light, or add a reclaimed wood shelf with small potted plants or thrifted trinkets. A warm, welcoming entryway tells guests, and yourself you're home, and it's beautiful here. (14) Seasonal decorating with found and thrifted treasures. One of the joys of cottage living is celebrating the seasons with small, intentional shifts in decor, all sourced sustainably. In autumn, fill a thrifted basket with pine cones and dried leaves. In winter, hang vintage ornaments or lanterns. Every season brings new chances to decorate using nature, memory, and found beauty. The key to seasonal decorating in a tiny space is subtlety. A thrifted throw in deeper colors, a rustic candle holder, or a wreath made from forest finds makes all the difference. Boho decor thrives on this kind of storytelling where every object reflects a mood, a moment, a memory. Final thoughts. Crafting a cottage life with soul. Decorating a tiny cottage in the Maine woods with thrifted boho style isn't about rules, it's about creating a sanctuary that feels uniquely you. With every secondhand find, you're not just saving money, you're weaving a story filled with warmth, creativity, and connection to the past and present. If this video inspired you to embrace cozy corners, hunt for vintage treasures, or simply see your space with new eyes, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Captivating Home. Your cottage story is just beginning, and we can't wait to explore more with you.